Welcome to the Two Grumpy Bastards podcast, where feelings aren't felt and snowflakes melt. Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
These confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc! Let slip the dogs of war. To my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Persian. Perhaps you should have done the same. This is blasphemy. This is madness. Madness. This is Sparta!
They painted over ants.
What?
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.
Now, walk into the club like, what up? I got a big cock. I'm just pumped. I bought some shit from a thrift shop. Ice on the fringe is so damn frosty. The people like, damn, that's a...
That's all I can take. That's all I can take. That is go well, let me go with the classic line. Russ, now you're probably asking yourself, now why did Coop play that video?
I was wondering what the hell was that?
Well played, sir. Well played. That is a Seattle favorite son, unfortunately, Macklemore, who I fucking can't fucking stand. A talentless hack of a fucking fuck. And he was a big deal there back in like 13, 14, 15. He used to, I remember going to a Mariners game like in 2014, and they had him as like he gave a concert afterwards. And the person I was with, she was like, we're going to stay for Macklemore, aren't we? And I'm like, I am happy to let you stay for Macklemore. I'm going back to my hotel. That guy is a
The only
I did it that way to get around the I did it that way to get around the YouTube censors right there.
All right, so I'm not the most hip current pop culture guy right now, but the only time I've ever actually heard of Macklemore was in a Tom McDonald song where he said, "I look like Macklemore on crack if he smoked it till he was 40."
I remember that, and I died laughing because that's actually kind of accurate. That's actually kind of. By the way, I just wanted to point out that I go through all of my alma maters and hoodies, and I'm on my last one, I think, except I haven't bought a Villanova one yet, so that'll be coming up in the future. But Hillsdale College, I want to tout Hillsdale College because they have so many free. You can enroll in the university online for free and take amazing courses. I took ancient Christianity. I took a course in the Constitution, and it's some of the greatest conservative minds and Christian thinkers in history that run this school. It's an actual campus. It actually existed. What is really funny about this is I when I got online to buy a hoodie, because I told you I forgot Villanova, but I went and bought a hoodie from every college that I went to. And Hillsdale College, for being the college that it is, this was called Urban Blue.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That was kind of odd. But anyway, yeah, Macklemore sucks. He was a big thing up here in Seattle for a long time. Remember, he had it's probably going to come up in the next podcast where he had a song about where he made a song about some gay guy getting beat up. That was a huge song of his.
Is it about him?
I don't know. I think it was made up. I'm not saying that's never happened. I'm not going there, but I'm just saying that, yeah, that was like his number one song. Can't stand him. He's a lefty and he's untalented. And so many, almost all of his songs are sampled. You know what I mean by
Yeah,
sampled? Yeah,
yeah.
they bring in riffs from
It's
other songs.
uncreative shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not creative. He sucks. Fuck him. And I hope he dies peacefully in his sleep or in a chemical fire, whichever comes first.
Hey, real quick, I got my own college shirt on, not where I went to college, but where one of my offspring does, Austin P. The
Hey,
the
one of my
Mighty
best
Governors.
one of my best friends in the army back in my first tour went there. Very proud of it. He grew up in Waxahachie, Texas, and was a
Okay.
yeah, and was a very proud Austin P. Uh, what are they? The Governors? Is that right?
The
I can't.
Governors, but one of the best things is in the 70s they had a decent college basketball team led by a name my guy led by a guy named Fly Williams, and the chant was your fly says fly is open, let's go pee.
That's awesome. That's yeah. No, there's nothing bad about what you just said. That's awesome across the board right there. Um, so this is a drop off, I think, from 2012 because we kind of enjoyed 2012 a little bit, saying, oh yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
pretty decent.
13 apparently wasn't.
Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke, featuring T.I. and Pharrell Williams. I have no idea what that is,
The only time I ever heard of Robin Thicke was when he was on stage basically humping Miley Cyrus when she came out in MTV Music Video Awards.
which is weird because he's gay as fuck. Um, the number
I
three
didn't
is
know that.
yeah, absolutely. I liked his dad more than him. His
Yeah,
dad,
well, his dad's the only one I'd heard of. Now, in fairness, I'm sure he does his hair like this on purpose. He looks like his dad.
he really does, and I'm not saying he's like untalented or something like that. I'm not, but I liked his dad. I liked was that Growing Pains? Is that the name of the
Yep,
show?
Alan Thicke. Yep,
And you know, Alan Thicke was a very prolific jingle and songwriter.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I mean, if you listen to a song from like the '80s or early '90s, so there's a decent chance Robin Thicke wrote it. Like the world don't move on the beat
He's
of just
Alan
one drum.
Thicke.
Yeah, I'm Alan Thicke. Yeah, yeah. He wrote Different Strokes. He wrote so many of those. Those.
Yeah,
He was very talented. I seemed like a really nice guy too. I don't know, just me. Maybe it's just me. Seemed like a
one of
nice guy.
America's dads.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I'm not making fun of Robin Thicke. I just don't think I don't think he was as talented as his dad. But God bless him, whatever. Number three is a song I actually really did like at the time. It got really overplayed. Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. You remember that one?
Yeah, a little bit. My one of my daughters really likes Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, they had some good shit. I actually it's on my iPhone. I can honestly say Imagine Dragons is. Harlem Shake by Bauer comes
Never heard
in
of it.
what?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, It's Bauer. I might be saying it wrong, but I don't even know what the fuck that is. I know what Harlem Shuffle is because the Rolling Stones did that, but I have no idea what the Harlem Shake is. Would that be like a um would that be like milk and ice cream with crack in it? That'd be the Harlem Shake? Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Oh, I just went there, didn't I? Come on, that was fucking I know you hate it when I do racist stuff. All right. And then Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. He always has this
On the
Ryan
list
Lewis.
again?
Yes, Can't Hold Us. I don't know that song, and I'm not gonna
Never heard of it.
fucking. I just they can fucking fuck off. Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. I don't remember that song because
I don't
okay,
either.
here's my opinion on Justin Timberlake. Give me your take on this. I think he's funny and I've liked him in some of the movies he's been in. He can act. He's not always good. Like Black Snake Moan, he was fucking fantastic in. He was like a meth dealer, and he did that. I like that movie where Cillian Murphy was the bad guy, and you had so much time, and you could pay.
Yeah,
The hell was that
I know.
movie?
I was actually just thinking about that. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, where you can actually you pay for things in minutes of your life.
Yeah, because
You
you're
can
immortal until your time runs out.
right,
You
right.
get paid in time. Yeah,
That was actually a really good movie. I don't know. I
yeah.
thought it was a really good movie. I can't remember the name of the actress that's in there, but I think she's fantastic in everything that she's ever done. His love interest, and Cillian Murphy is fantastic.
Yeah, he's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, he is. Did you see the?
Oh, the one where he played Oppenheimer.
Yes, did you see
I,
that?
I have not seen it yet. I need to, but I
Oh,
haven't had a
dude,
chance yet.
dude, that's got to be on your list. He is
It's
so
something
brilliant in that.
I mean, it's a movie I've been wanting to see. I just haven't had a chance yet.
And one thing we do agree on, one of the greatest directors in history directed that, obviously. And
Nolan.
yeah, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I've seen it twice, even though it's like 3.5 hours long. I'll probably watch it again at sometime in the next couple of weeks, just because it's that good. And he's perfect in it.
When I get the chance, I want to see it, but yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. All right. So I'm gonna play another video for you.
And I actually do like, really quick, I do like Justin Timberlake's acting in some stuff. I actually liked him in The Social Network. He played a really good dickhead.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He
A
was
really, really
great in
good
that.
douche. He was more of a douchey than dickhead.
Douchey. Yeah. When he and Adam Sandberg do their shit on Saturday Night Live,
Oh, Dick in a Box?
Dick in a Box and all that other stuff. I want to fuck your mom and all those other things they did. Fucking hilarious. Those two
Yeah.
are amazing. Did you ever see the one that they did where the Bee Gees have a talk show?
No.
And they play like Morris and Barry Gibb.
Oh,
And
I'll have to
it's
see that. I haven't seen
oh
that one.
fuck, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. They're very funny. Everything is done in a Bee Gees voice. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so I'm gonna play another video for you, whether you like it or not, because you don't like this artist, and this is one of my favorite songs from the 2010s.
Uh-oh.
And no, it's I just want to I'm gonna play you a quick video. It's okay. This is one of the reasons I like this artist. I think. Wait, I wasn't trying to invite anybody. Fuck off.
Right from the start, you were a thief, you stole my heart, and I, your willing victim. I let you see the parts of me that weren't all that pretty, and with every touch, you fixed them. Now you've been talking in your sleep, oh, oh, things you never say to me, oh, oh, tell me that you've had enough of our love, our love. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough, just a second, we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the...
Okay, that's a great song.
All right, look, I don't hate Pink. She's decent. I actually like that song because I like Nate Russo of Fun, and he's the guy who's
Oh,
about
is
to
that?
start singing.
Oh, is that the guy that's in that?
Yep, Nate Russo from
Okay.
Fun. Some nights and
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
I'm a really big Nate Russo fan. That's actually one of Pink's better songs. I don't like this whole angry girl boss image she has.
No, this song is gorgeous though, and I had just gone through a really tough breakup, and that song came out, and I was just like, I totally understand where you're coming from, Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I should have known that was the lead singer of Fun. I was actually asking your friend earlier today, who's this Nate Russo? You ever heard of this guy? I didn't connect the two, but the voice, of course, I should have.
Yeah.
But that's a great song. That came in.
I like that song. I'm good with that song.
Yeah, I have definitely have that on my phone. Haven't listened to it in years, but just give me a reason by Pink and Nate Russo comes in at or Russ. Is it Russ? Nate Russo?
Nate Russo, I think.
Nate Russo, okay. Comes in at number 6. Number 8 or number 7, excuse me. Number 8 is Bruno Mars, When I Was Your Man. I have no idea because I'm not a fan of Bruno Mars, as you know.
I don't know him either.
Which
I know Bruno Mars, I just don't know the
perfectly
song.
clear last week. Number 9 is Cruise by Florida Georgia Line. Is that a country band?
They're kind of country rock.
All right, Florida Georgia Line featuring Nelly, and I don't remember that song at all.
It's familiar, but I'd have to hear it again to recognize it.
And we get to close this portion of our podcast out with number 10. One of my most hated songs in all of God's creation. Do you remember what this might be? Because I predicted this was going to be on the top 10.
No.
Roar by Katy Perry.
Oh, okay.
One of the worst songs. I thought it was going to be at number one because I heard it everywhere I went. Like you go to a fucking Home Depot and they'd have it like on the overhead,
Yeah.
and it's like, do you not realize who your customers are here?
Apparently
A
not.
bunch of illegal Mexicans and a bunch of rednecks. That's your only customers here at Home Depot. Fuck you. Playing this like they would play like that, and oh God, I just like really. I even asked somebody once. I'm actually serious about this. I asked the cashier at Home Depot one time when you can actually get in line and not stand there for 45 minutes at a Home fucking Depot because
Self-checkout.
they're incompetent.
Yeah.
And I actually asked her, I was like, who programs the music here? And she goes, what do you mean? I go, this music sucks. Like every single one of your customers here hates this playlist. What are you guys thinking? Who do I talk to about this? And she's like, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with the music. And I'm like, yeah, go back to your single wide and have some tapioca pudding, bitch. All right. Anyway,
Did you ever see real quick? Did you ever see you know how every once in a while you get these jokes of the kids' drawings? Did you ever see the kids' drawing of the kid's mom selling shovels at Home Depot?
I have not.
He turns in this drawing of his mom supposedly selling shovels at Home Depot, and the teacher called the mom for a parent-teacher conference because the drawing made it look like the mom holding up the shovel was actually on a stripper pole, and the customers around holding up money for the shovel makes it look like they're trying to stuff in a G-string.
That's not inaccurate. That's not inaccurate. That's pretty good. All right, let's move along because I know we have some shit to do tonight over there in Tennessee. Domestic box office for it's okay, Lucy. Lucy's
Maybe here's the
yelling.
rain that's just started in Tennessee again.
Yeah, the Lucy's yelling at the TV for some reason. Lucy, why are you yelling at a dude in a wheelchair? I'm not kidding. She's yelling at a dude in a wheelchair.
After we go through all this stuff, I'll have to ask a question about another. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thunder that just rolled through here. My dog just looked up. One of my two dogs just looked up at me.
Well, at least your dogs aren't like fucking yelling at dudes in wheelchairs on a veterans commercial for.
Hopefully, by the way, so far, and I know I hope I'm not jinxing myself by saying this. So far, we've only lost power for like 3 seconds. So hopefully it doesn't cut out in the middle of this podcast.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hope you guys are okay down there. I saw the news from the hurricanes and not hurricanes.
I think we're fine.
Tornadoes. I'm sorry. Totally different.
Most of those were to the east of us.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that amazing video in Arkansas and a couple other places.
Yep.
So, let me get into the box office for 2013. Do you know what the top movie was in 2013?
Captain America: The First Avenger?
Nope. That was 2012. It's Iron Man 3.
Which I found to be the weakest of the Iron Man movies.
Me too. I don't even like it. I don't even like it. I like the first two. I like the first two fine. They were good.
The first one was really good. The second one was nah. You know me, I like Iron Man as the hero better, but Captain America makes better movies.
Yep. Number two, I was surprised by it that this did so well. The Hunger Games: Catching Fire.
My youngest is into Hunger Games right now.
And I always get hiccups when we're on it. I never have them any other time. I like the Hunger Games movies. You know that. I'm a J-Lo fan. Thought she was perfect in those movies. I got to tell you though, the one thing I didn't like about those movies was I'm not a fan of the actor that played Pita.
Oh, well, I've only really seen him in one other thing, and that was The Bridge of Terabithia.
Oh, I've never watched that. I'm just not a fan. I didn't think he fit the character. I just thought he was a big pussy, and
He doesn't have a great range of acting, to be fair.
And then she had the chance to hook up with one of the one of the brothers. What are their names? Thor and Liam.
Okay. Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, she had the chance to hook up with Thor's little brother, and she didn't. And I'm just like, you're fucking insane. Are
Well,
you
hey,
kidding
real
me?
quick on the when he played in Bridge of Terabithia, have you ever read that
Mm-mm.
book?
I have not. I don't. I know. No, I know zero about that whole thing.
Well,
You
it's
suggest I should?
well, it would have made a lot more impact when you were like 11 or 12. It's one of the first books for kids that actually deals with death.
Hmm.
And it was
Okay.
now they changed this, but it was written because the author's son had an actual friend that the book is based on, who, when she was 10 or something, she went to a beach and got struck by lightning out of the blue and died.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
so uh, she was going to write this book, but he was like, it was her name was Leslie, and they named the character Leslie in the book. And then the spoiler alert, the book's only been out for like 50 fucking years. So, um, spoiler alert, Leslie dies in the book. She dies in a different way. They write it a little bit different, but it's about dealing with all that. The movie that it's on has got Anna Sophia Robb in it, who played in Blue Crush. It's got Robert Patrick, the T2 Terminator,
Yep.
and Zoe
Love him.
Deschanel is in it. It's like it's an interesting. It has more impact when you're younger or if you're watching it with kids.
Gotcha. But and this isn't weird. I actually enjoy. I recommended to you recently the Girl Who Owned a City, which was a book that I grew up with.
I don't remember
Uh,
you recommending that to me.
I did. I texted. I said, "Did you ever read this?" I said, "You really should." It's
Okay, I'll have to go back. I don't remember.
yeah, it was written in the I think the early 70s, and it's about like a plague that hits the world that everybody over the age of 12 or so dies.
Now it's sounding familiar.
Yeah, and I actually I looked for it. I was like, is that it's not in print anymore, so I had to buy like a used copy, but they did do a graphic novel, so I bought them both. And I enjoy, uh, young adult fiction. There's some stuff out there that's actually really good. And
Well,
it's not creepy. I just like the idea of the stories and how well I like that they're written. You know me, I'm a minimalist.
mhm.
As far as I like to read a lot of writers that are minimalist that don't say comma he said graciously.
Yeah.
It's just laid out and let the reader think about it in your mind. And you gave me that feedback when I sent you my
Hmm.
my novel idea, and you're like, I think you're being a little, you didn't say salacious, but that's kind of what you meant. It's like you're kind of overdoing it. And I agreed. I went back and like, fuck. Yeah, I'm a minimalist. Elmore Leonard is one of my favorite authors in history ever. He's in
Hmm.
my top five, and that guy was a total minimalist. He would do these topsy-turvy novels that you never saw coming, but they were very like there was no description. It was just conversations actually acted like conversations.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the young adult stuff is kind of written that way, which is what I kind of like. I don't
To an
know. It's
extent.
just my opinion.
Well, there's some books that are probably a little bit younger than that, younger than young adult for me that I like. That it's kind of comfort food. I don't know. And this may y'all can brand me a pussy if you want. I don't care. I don't know if you ever read any Judy Blume, Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing, and Super Fudge.
When I was a
Those are
kid,
kind of like
sure. Yeah. Yeah,
those are
yeah.
kind of like comfort food to me. There was another one that I really liked called The Incredible Dr. Rankin and His Youthful Assistant Jeffrey, which is about this. It's
I
about
don't know
this.
that one.
It's this boy who is kind of bullied in class, but he's created this separate world where he's a lab assistant to this like evil mad scientist who comes up with all these great gadgets, and then he tries to take these gadgets and bring them into the real world. Um,
Gotcha.
it's it was like I said when I was in sixth, seventh grade, those were kind of like
Right,
the
right.
fun ones.
Yeah, no, I read all
Maybe
the
fifth, sixth grade.
Flowers in the Attic, and there was a lot of really. I'd probably read that one again because that was actually pretty dark.
That was real dark. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
familiar with that one.
yeah, that was really dark. I should probably read that again. I don't think they ever made a movie out of that, which is weird because
I thought they did. I
maybe
could
maybe they did. Maybe they did.
anyway.
But that was, things like that. I know we're getting way off topic here, but I love books and I love creative people like that, and it's one of the reasons I love Harry Potter so much is, the modern phrase is world building,
Yeah.
and in movies or TV series or stuff like that. And God, Rawlings did such an amazing job of world building, maybe better than any author I ever read.
Yeah, it'd be tough to top
Other
her.
than Frank Herbert, Dune would be right up
Yeah,
there
see,
with.
I never read Dune,
Oh God, God. I mean, did
but
you see that? Have you seen the modern movies?
no, not yet.
Oh, buddy,
I know
buddy,
I need to. I know I need to get to it. I got a lot of stuff I got to get to right now.
Dune is fantastic. The modern Dune is fantastic.
Right now, the wife and I are getting through the Blacklist with James
Gotcha,
Spader.
gotcha.
Um, but
Uh,
yeah,
take a break. Take a break and do Dune 1 and 2. I mean, you won't be sorry.
let's see. J.K. Rowling with the Harry Potter series, Harry Turtledove's World War series, and his Great War series. William Fortune and the Lost Regiment series builds a world. That one builds worlds really well. If you ever read the Lost Regiment series,
No, no, you recommended that to me, and I will. I definitely will put that on
just
my
pick up
list.
the first one. You're a historian and you're a sci-fi guy, and Fortune kind of blends those together really well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah,
Is it kind of like I'm sorry, my favorite sci-fi writer. Well, he's my top three favorite: Isaac Asimov, Arthur Clarke, and the weird guy,
you just named about half the sci-fi writers.
the greatest of all time. Man in the High Castle guy,
Oh, Philip K. Dick.
Philip K. Dick, which I think he's the most talented sci-fi writer in history. I would put him above Asimov and Clarke.
I found Asimov kind of dull. His books are kind of plotting.
Some of his books are. I would agree with that, but I think he's a genius. Clark's books are always spot on in my book. But Philip K. Dick was a maniac. I mean,
Yeah,
he's the guy who started this whole thing about we live in a matrix. And I mean, you
didn't
can
know
see
that.
him on video talking about that a lot back in like the 1970s and 80s. It's like, yeah, we are in a simulation. And
Yeah,
and he completely believed that. And he would talk about things like deja vu and before the Mandela effect, he talked about the Mandela effect before it had a name and all
yeah.
that. And that was he wrote The Man in the High Castle. And if you've ever seen the series, it's incredibly interesting.
I've seen most of the series.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And he had a dream, and that's what he saw. But he's and I admit I'm kind of in this too. He didn't think it was a dream. He thought he was seeing an actual alternate
A different
universe.
reality. Yeah,
Yeah, separate reality where he would go and be able to observe this stuff. And Philip K. Dick is fucking gonzo. I mean, he's
yeah.
gonzo. He's the godfather of hard sci-fi in my view. Anyway, are we supposed to be talking about something else? I can't even remember, dude.
Whatever the box office was.
Okay, that was Despicable Me was in number three. Never saw it. Man of Steel, which I don't know, got panned, but I liked it. I liked
It
it.
was okay, but it all of the Superman movies and all the Superman TV shows live in the shadow of Christopher Reeves.
They do. Other than Smallville, I still stand behind the 10 seasons of Smallville is amazing because
It was good, but it wasn't Christopher Reeves.
because he wasn't Superman. It dealt with him before he became Superman.
I know.
It
It's
developed
just
the character of Clark Kent over 10 seasons. I love it. And I thought Tom Welling was spectacular in
the
that role.
whole one of the best. I
And I
don't know
know
if you ever listened to.
you like Tom Welling. I know you do.
He's good, but I don't know if you ever heard interviews with Christopher Reeves talking about his role as Superman. He was
I
trying to
have.
figure
I have.
out when he first talked about how he was playing Clark Kent the way he was playing Superman, and Richard Donner went to him and said, "Hey, listen, you are Superman. When you're Clark Kent, you're Superman playing Clark Kent." Because it's kind of a role, and that's when
Right.
it clicked for him. So I didn't really get that connection out of Smallville. By the way, speaking of Smallville, did you ever happen to see when they did the Flash Crisis on Infinite Earths and they went back to Smallville?
I did. I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is I listen to Talkville, which is a podcast that Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling,
Yep,
they go
I've seen
back.
a few of those episodes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And it's fun if you're a fan of the show. Michael Rosenbaum is such a nut. He's a fucking nut.
Yeah.
He was on Corolla this week, which was
Really
interesting.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
I listened to the episodes he did with Jensen Ackles and with uh the guy that plays Jonathan Frakes.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and there were a couple of others that I've listened to the episodes of.
Yeah, so yeah, Talkville is he and Tom Welling, and they review every episode, and I think we're in season 5 right now, whatever. And so I'm going back and I'm watching them before I listen because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing to do. You watch the show and then you listen to the pod of the people that are actually there. And Tom Welling is such a nice guy, and Michael Rosenbaum's
Yeah.
a fucking nutball, which is fine. I'm
Yeah.
not. That's not a slam, and it's just kind of fun to listen to that because I've watched the season. I've watched the series all the way through like 3 times, so I'm watching it again, but I'm
Okay.
pacing it to keep up with the podcast. So it's just fun to do that. Um, and I love that Tom Welling, his big thing is I won't wear the Superman outfit
Won't
in
wear the
this
cape.
series,
Yeah.
and I won't fly.
Won't
That's
fly. Yep.
Yep. And that's a weird thing for an actor to tell, but it held out because it's like this is about Clark Kent as a kid and a young adult. This is
Hmm.
not about Superman. So I don't want to get into that whole thing. And the last what was really fun was the latest episode that they did was called Justice, and it's when future Aquaman, future Green Arrow, and future Flash all try to get him to be part of the ju Justice. They didn't say Justice League.
Yeah.
And um, the Alan Richman, who played Aquaman in that series, is Reacher now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean he's fabulous in Reacher. I mean, if you ever read the Reacher books,
Yeah.
he's
Now,
he is
that
Reacher.
particular actor is a left-wing lunatic,
He is, he is,
but in
but he's
Reacher
also
he's good because you
but
don't have
he's
to listen
also
to the talk.
bipolar. He's also bipolar, and he's mentally ill, and he addresses that. And I don't know. I love Reacher. I love what they've done with those books because those books kept me alive during a really bad period in my life and all that. So anyway, we'll keep rolling. Jesus Christ, we got stuck on some shit here.
Yeah.
Man of Steel, Monsters University. I don't even know what that is, bruh.
Are you kidding me? I love that one.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Did you see Monsters Inc.?
Yeah.
Okay, well this is takes the Billy Crystal green beach ball character and the Dan Goodman big monster Sully, and they're in college. They're learning
Oh,
how to be scares at.
how did I miss this?
Oh, you have to watch that movie.
Because I adore Monsters Inc. I think it's
Oh,
one of my favorite
I like Monsters
animated.
University better than Monsters Inc. Anybody who
Really?
anybody who's been to college, it's hysterical. They've got the jock fraternity. They've got the classes. You've got the weirdos out on the quad. Um, it's a fun movie. Spend an hour and 45 minutes or so and just watch it. They end up in a shit fraternity with a bunch of losers that just
I'm
watch it.
there. I didn't even know this existed. I don't even remember. How did I not know this? God,
You,
I fucking suck sometimes.
you gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go right to the top of my list because I love Monsters Inc. Is it Billy Crystal and John Goodman
Oh
again?
yeah, yes, it is, and
Wow.
it's got
I
uh
love that movie. I love Monsters Inc. It's fucking
who
fantastic.
I don't remember. It's got the guy who played Doctor Octopus,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
Professor Helen Mirren plays the dean of one of the colleges.
What?
Yeah, I don't
How did
remember
I
this.
miss this?
I don't remember what woman's name, but
What's it?
the one that played
Doc-
Julia on Newhart. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
she plays
Alfred Molina is Dr. Octopus, by the way.
yeah, the woman that plays Julia on Newhart plays one of the characters' moms. Oh, Nathan Fillion is in it.
What? Oh, I'm there.
Yep, you gotta watch it before the next podcast. We'll have to review it.
That'll happen this weekend. I promise. Monsters University. I need to take a screenshot and remind myself because I'm fucking stupid. All right, number 6 is Frozen, which I think is highly overrated.
I agree.
Highly motherfucking overrated. I watched it and I was like so bored out of my goddamn mind. I'm like, this isn't.
I could do a whole show on why I disliked Frozen.
Yeah, I could too. We'll move along though. Gravity is number 7. Now,
Never saw it.
I did. The physics is fucking stupid, but it was an entertaining movie. I remember
Okay.
before my pop died, I bought them a new TV and I played that movie and I was like he was so into it and I'm like Are you so into it because like you think it's a good movie? Or are you so into it because you're like me and you think Sandra Bullock is the hottest thing that's ever lived on planet Earth? And he goes, swear to God, I actually asked that question, and this is not a joke. He goes, why can't it be both, boy?
Yep. That's actually exactly what I was about to say.
Um, I did enjoy that movie. It was visually spectacular. Physics was all fucked up, but who cares?
Did you, by the way, did you hear how that movie made Sandra Bullock rich?
Go ahead and tell me. No.
Well, she didn't take much of a salary in that movie. So the way that they got her to play it was she got 10% of first ticket receipts. So the money it made at the box office, she got a 10% cut. And that's she made lots and lots of money by taking the 10% of first ticket receipts on that movie.
I
So,
wonder. I wonder what that movie got. Um, yeah, it probably did $100,000 or something on its first weekend because that was an
you know,
incredibly
100 million?
popular movie.
You mean 100 million?
No, $100,000. No, yeah, of course, 100 million. I'm sorry.
It did a
It,
lot.
it
So she
made
made a
like
lot of money on that.
$3,000, and so she got 300.
$1 million.
Yeah. I'm sure that was a fortune because it did really, really well. Obviously, it's the 200 and almost 300 million in its gross. So I'm sure she did just fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I'd watch it again. I haven't
I
seen
need
it.
to. I should see it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. It was fun. I like ignore the physics. It's one of those. It's not Interstellar where they tried to get the physics right. They didn't give a fuck. Number 8, Fast and Furious 6.
Never seen any of them.
Number 9. I don't even know who was in this. Oz, the Great and
Oh,
Powerful.
yeah. James Franco.
Oh, it was
Um,
that one. I have seen that. I have seen that.
yeah, I watched it because Rachel wanted to see it.
How was I don't remember it very well.
That's because it was a very forgettable movie. It was
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't very good, right?
It was as a standalone movie, it might have been okay, but when they tried to tie it to The Wizard of Oz, it just didn't work.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, yeah, I did watch it. I watched it once, and since I don't remember it, it obviously wasn't very good. And number 10, a movie that I do like that you and me might disagree with is Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah, I've never watched. No, is that that's that maybe I watched that one. That's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, right? He plays Khan.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I was
It
fine with
it
it.
it just it first of all, it was before Benedict Cumberbatch made it big. He didn't pull off Khan the way that Richard Montalban did.
Well, nobody ever will. That's those are tough
Yeah,
shoes
but
to
see,
fill.
in Star Trek 2, you got the sense that Khan could win. In this one, you never got that sense. He was never that big a threat.
What do you think about Christopher Pine as Captain Kirk?
I think he did good in the first one. I think he infantilized Kirk in the second. In the first one, he
Well,
was
he was there were actually three. There were
yeah,
actually
that's the third one that I was thinking that I've never seen. But in the very first one, um, he could pull off the swashbuckling, new to it, but daring risk taker kind of Captain Kirk. In this one, he came off like like a college jock, not college jock, college frat boy that was, trying to. I didn't buy him as Kirk in the second one. I just
Do
didn't.
you like Christopher Pine as an actor?
Usually, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, he was.
Did you like the I'm sorry, the Swords and Sorcery? What the hell?
Dungeons and Dragons movie. I was
Dungeons
gonna
and Dragons.
actually say that. Yeah, I about to say I really liked that movie because in that movie Christopher Pine knew who he was.
He's a goofball. He's a bit of a
Yeah,
goofball.
and he leaned into it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I love that movie. I've seen that movie a couple of times, and it's like, oh, this is actually really good. And all the actors look like they were having fun. Even the Mexican lesbian that's been in all the Fast and Furious ones, she even looked like she was having fun in that. But, sometimes.
Sometimes you have shitty taste. Yeah.
All right. Let's let's get on with things. We're not going to do TV because nothing changed from last year that we
Awesome.
did that. Nothing.
I don't
Nothing.
suppose you remembered whether or not we were going to have a video to review, do you?
A video review of what?
Don't know if you remember if we were gonna do a video review of a new song that came out last week. You don't remember me texting you this?
I don't. Help me out. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
All right, well, we can do it later, but it was the new Tom McDonald song.
Oh shit. You know what? I can tell you what, while we're talking and we're on a roll, I will pull that up. I
Okay.
do. I do. It's on my list and I'm sorry, you got away from me today, bro.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Have you seen it? Have you seen the
I
video?
have. I have.
Okay.
I when you text that to me, um God, what is the name of that song, by the way?
Can't cancel all of us.
Yeah. All right. I will, when we're talking about some other stuff, I
Okay.
will pull that up. I will pull that up, download it, and uh those of you that watch us on YouTube, you're gonna see me doing stuff that looks
Involve
like
both
I'm
hands
not
in
paying
front of me.
attention. All right. So, all right, let's do this. Let's do the 2013 archives, and then we'll get into some
Hey,
we'll
I
get
have to
into
say real quick, 2013 was a pretty good year because at the age of 39 and almost a half, or just over 39 and a half, my second daughter was born.
nice.
So, and she came right on time.
Nice. So so we're doing opposites. You remember that we had a year recently where you were like that year sucked, and I'm like, no, that year was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
2013 was shit bag fucking heaven year for me, man. It was just like I might as well I might as well just injected myself with fucking Drano that year.
Oh
That's how bad
God.
it was. What's the name of that song again?
Can't cancel all of us.
Okay, there it is. All right. So I will pull that up while we talk about other stuff. I'll download it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
2013, like I say, it was good. Now, you know, my youngest did have cause some problems for my wife before she was born because it's funny. My oldest, the pregnancy was picture perfect up until the moment that my oldest was born 2.5 months early. Um, the youngest went to full term, but she like caused my wife to be tired. She actually caused her to faint and collapse one day. We took her to the hospital, and she fainted in the hospital twice more. Um, so, and then, you know, when she was born, she almost choked that first night because they Sherry was not feeling good laying in the mother's bed, and then she heard my youngest start, choking on something and like her own, whatever spit and stuff, and so she had to leap up out of bed and help turn her to the side to make sure she was okay. And um, then my oldest was mostly quiet and calm baby, and my youngest is unfortunately way too much like me and has my passion and was very loud. Although for my youngest was responsible for me getting in a lot better shape because about the only thing that I could do that would get her to calm down is if I carried her up and down the stairs in our house. So I got a few good stair workouts from that. I also in what month of that year? May of that year, I took command of a battalion in Hawaii. Um, so I was battalion commander in Hawaii that year. Um, overall 2013 was a pretty good year. I know it was shit for you, but it was a pretty good year for me.
well, I'm glad I we kind of switched places on that.
Yeah,
Um,
'cause 2011 sucked.
so you're talking about the Tom McDonald song that just came out, Russ.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm a big Tom McDonald fan. Now his songs have been kind of hit or miss as of late. But he's had some good ones. He's had some others that I thought were so. This one, in my opinion, is one of his best. And if you see the video, for no other reason than all the cameos, I don't even there are you have to watch the video to understand the cameos, and even I can't recognize every single canceled person in there. But he's got some pretty big names in this video, and then there's some that if you're a little bit more granular, maybe you understand, or maybe you know, but I think I recognize about 80% of the people in this video.
Well, let's give it a look, shall we?
They told me, be a man, boy, toughen up. Then they let women become men, they tricked me. They told me, speak your mind if you're brave enough. And I spoke up and I got canceled quickly. We were always too young and too nice, and now we're too old and too white. You're either too left or too right. Well, we're speaking our minds tonight. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't cancel all of us, we'll burn the stars and the stripes. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. They told me, be a man, boy, just like your dad. Then told me everything I am is toxic. They said the color of your skin doesn't make you bad, but mine makes me racist, got it. We were always too weak and too afraid, and now we're too male and too straight. You're either too real or too fake. Well, we're speaking our minds today. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't cancel all of us, we'll burn the stars and the stripes. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. You can take my job away for something I may have said online, but you can't control a man who won't comply. And you can call me every name that you might think will hurt my pride, but if you think you're stopping me, you're out your mind. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't cancel all of us, we'll burn the stars and the stripes. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side.
Yeah, that was a promo for Tom McDonald. We totally admit that. That was a promo for his new album coming out on April 25th. And that's totally a departure from his usual music,
Yeah.
which is
He's gone more into singing as opposed to rap of the last
Right.
few songs.
yeah, he has. He has. Yeah, I love the cameos in that, and I love the attitude behind that. And the one thing I did want to talk about tonight is how um if you're in the conservative mindset and you see all this stuff coming out, don't engage at a child level with these people. Just don't, because you're never going to change their minds. Russ, you often say that the reason you engage with people you disagree with is not because you're trying to change the mind of the person you disagree with, but you're trying to illustrate a different viewpoint for the people that might be looking at the post, which I completely 100% am behind you doing that. And I've started to swerve in that direction myself. I am not I'm a very smart guy, and I'm very eloquent when I choose to be. But when I see somebody that's a fucking idiot, I can't help myself. I use words like retard, fuck, cunt, fuck you, fuck off. You're a fucking idiot. Because they are, and because you know me, I'm a little bit more grounded in this white trash, blue collar world that I grew up in. And I don't white trash, fuck that. It's just a very pragmatic. This is the way it is. this is how you do things. I grew up that way. I reject some of that. I do. I mean, I remember my dad giving me a pair of boots when I was a kid, and they were really uncomfortable, and they gave me horrible blisters, and they had no padding, and those are work boots, boy. And it's like there's a better way to do this. When I got in the army for the first time, the boots they gave us, oh my God, those were terrible. Those were terrible. They just ripped your feet up and stuff like that. And then when I got out, we had like Nikes and shit like that. And so things can get better, but I really think that um, one of the things I want to talk about tonight is something that I've seen online about how red states are uneducated versus blue states, and that's something I actually want to talk about. I do. And when Tom McDonald sings that song, and you see all those people, the difference between those people and the people that voted for Kamala Harris is so stark. Is that I don't think anybody that's ever actually done anything hard in their life, whether it's blue collar or the military or just getting through life, actually would vote for the left because they how they vote is really important. How we vote is really important to and it's fascinating to me that the Democratic Party used to pretend that they were for the working man and working person and the blue collar, and it was all pretense, folks. It was all pretense. Um, and now the Republicans are the ones, whatever you think about the Trump tariffs and all that stuff, I don't think there's a single bone in his body that doesn't think he's doing it for the citizens and the working people, whether you agree or disagree. And doesn't think that everything that he does is for the actual people in this country. Where I look at the left and I'm going, what is your philosophy? What is your actual core values? And I did see Michael Knowles in that video, which pissed me
I
off.
know. I'm sure I imagine that's setting off your radiometer.
Fuck Michael Knowles. I actually did watch a video where he interviewed a guy the other day because all right, with all my bullshit about Michael Knowles, he's an incredibly smart man and he's good at what he does, but he doesn't wear socks. You wear
Well,
like $400 Italian loafers and you don't wear socks, you pretentious faggot. And and anyway, and he is a Catholic and he is smart. I get that, but he likes the smell of his own farts. I don't like people like that. I just don't.
look, one of the things I like about Knowles is the way he can remain even keel and almost bemused in the face of the rage-filled idiots,
Yes,
and
yes.
the way he can turn an argument that somebody is trying to make to him on its head. I mean, there's numerous examples of him being able to do that. I mean, it's hard to think of a lot of folks better, except there are a few, the Shapiros of the world, sure. Um, but I mean,
Come upstairs, buddy.
Knowles is right up there.
He
Now
is. He is. I would put our friend Charlie, what's his name,
Charlie
up there.
Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie
I
Kirk.
put Charlie Kirk up there. I still put Shapiro at the top, but I put 1A and
I got,
1B
I got,
as
I got,
Knowles
a, I
and
got, a, I got, a, I got a beef with a Shapiro lately. I got a beef.
okay. You're gonna have to tell me about that in a second. But on the first of all, on the Tom McDonald song, his last three have been songs, not raps. There was Goodbye Joe, uh, there was Man in the Sky, and now Can't Cancel All of Us. Um, it first of all, if you listen to McDonald's music, if you listen to Tom's music, he does not build slowly. I mean, he hits this shit right out of the gate.
Absolutely.
You be a man, then they let women become men. They tricked me. I mean, it was it's real fast out of the gate, and he does not let up. And he brings up, hey, we're half the country, okay? You can't write all this out. And I think some of that cancel culture stuff, I think, is waning because people caught on to the bullshit. It was shock value 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Um, but just like any virus, you gain an immunity to it. Those that are still around survive. Um, like let's see How many cameos did you recognize in there? There was Knowles started off. I did not recognize the black guy with the blonde hair. I don't know who that is.
I do know he's a comedian who's based. I can't tell you his name off the top of my head, but I've watched him on Kill Tony and a couple other things,
I'll look for him on
and
Kill
Tony
Tony.
Tony Hinchcliffe is very conservative. I mean,
I'm
he
surprised that Hinchcliffe wasn't in the video.
I know that'd have been cool to have Hinchcliffe. I personally I know he's a douche, but I love Hinchcliffe. I love
Oh
him.
yeah, but he leans into the douchey.
He
He's
does.
good at that.
He
He's
doesn't
a
give a
complete
fuck.
goofball. But let's see,
I bet you in real life he's like probably the nicest guy you've ever met.
probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. So they had uh, Kevin Sorbo, Roseanne, Laura Trump. Um, they had I don't
Laura
remember her
Trump.
name.
Have you ever watched her show on the weekend on Fox?
No.
She's actually really great.
Okay.
She's actually
I
really smart. She's a smart cookie. She's not just a good-looking lady. She's very smart. She
speaking of
belongs there.
good-looking ladies, the tatted up girl with the Trump hat, that was Patriot Barbie.
Patriot
Okay.
Barbie, right? We
Um,
follow
there,
her on X.
there was a I don't remember the name of her, but there was like this one really sweet-looking girl on there with brown, somewhat curly hair. She's she goes on college campuses and asks and gets liberals enraged by asking them these questions about
Right.
stuff.
Kind of
And
kind of like our friend Charlie.
yeah, the blonde on the motorcycle was on campus with her rifle, showing it off one day. Um, the Tito Ortiz was on there.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't see Tito. I missed that.
Tito was the guy in the red shirt, bald head. That was like he was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's Tito
That's who that was.
Ortiz.
All right.
I said Roseanne Barr, Kevin Sorbo. Um, one of the guys from Pawn Stars was on there. Um, a few others I'd have to go back and look at it again. But I mean, all these people have been attempted to have been canceled. It was the whole point. Benny Johnson was on there.
Yep. Benny Johnson was on there. I love him.
I like Benny Johnson a lot.
I put his stuff up
Um,
on our Two Grumpy Bastards podcast Facebook page all the time.
yeah, but I mean, the entire message, hey, they tell you be a man like your dad, then they tell you everything you are is toxic. You know, be brave and speak up. I spoke up and I got canceled quickly. I mean, it was a treatise on what the modern world, especially online, is like. And I like McDonald's saying that, the internet ain't real life, and more people need to remember that.
And here's the thing, Russ, is that if you're correct and you're resolute in that if you've waited and I don't mean dogma. I don't mean that you hear something and you repeat it or it makes sense to you. You and I do deep dives on everything that we believe in, and I know that. That's why I trust you as my podcast partner, and also my semi-gay partner. No, I'm kidding. Um, but when you do a deep dive on something and you know you're right, just here's the thing: conservatives and libertarians and people that don't agree with the woke culture don't apologize. Don't ever apologize.
That's one of the biggest lessons to take out of this is because you can never gain redemption no matter how much you apologize. And a lot of people's apologies are performative. Just just blow right through it.
Just blow right through it. Double down on it. I mean, I can't remember the last time politically that I've lost some friends that I've had since I was in second grade over stuff like this, but it's like, well, I'm right. So why
Yeah.
should I fucking feel bad about this? I'm correct. Well, blah, 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 blah. Well, I get it. I get it. I have feelings too. I care about people a lot. I do. I mean, that's why I did what I did for a living. That's why, la la la. I do. I'm a really actually, as much as I bloviate, I'm a nice guy. You come up to me in public and talk to me, I'm going to make you feel good about yourself. I'm going to say something funny or something complimentary. When I go to a restaurant or a grocery store, I try to make people feel good. That's me. But here's the thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to reciprocate a lie with another lie inside myself. You know, if you're trans and you fucking correct me on your fucking pronouns, I'll just say fuck you. I
Yeah.
I actually
I,
won't
I'm
say
not.
I won't say fuck you, but I'll say not my problem.
No,
Work
see,
that out
I
with your
actually might say fuck
therapist.
you. And one of the things I've told people online, look, you are free for something like that, for example. You are free to live in whatever delusion you so desire. You are not free to try and force me to live in that delusion with you.
Well, yeah, I mean it's nutty. It's like, okay, so you know my stance on this. The triage, do the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people in the shortest amount of time. I really believe that's what President Trump is doing with this country right now, and I cannot even fathom people going, "Oh, we don't like you deporting fucking rapist gang member fucking MS-13 or La Costa whatever back to their countries. You're evil, you're bad." Or Elon Trump uh taking time away from his billions and billions of dollar businesses to donate to the country to try to make it better and give money to the taxpayers. And people are bitching about that. They're bitching
Well,
about that.
they're finding reasons. They're making up shit just to just to oppose Trump, and they're trying to pretend like it's principled. Take, for example, two recent deportation stories.
Hmm.
There was the dude that was uh, just deported to El Salvador, and everybody said, "Well, that was an error. They made a mistake. They admitted they made a mistake, and he wasn't supposed to be deported. He's supposed to have due process." And then they overlook a few things. They overlook, for example, he did have due process. In 2019, an
Hmm.
immigration judge, said he was a member of MS-13 and he was a flight risk and a danger to the community. Um, he also didn't apply for asylum, which was the claim of that's where the mistake was. He didn't apply for asylum until he was caught at Home Depot in 2019. He'd been in the country since 2011. The mistake that the administration made was not a mistake of substance, it was a bureaucratic mistake because the dude actually was on the deportation list. He was listed as an alternate and he got moved up to a primary kind of by accident, but he was still on the list to be deported. So that was not a mistake. And you can't say he didn't have due process because he did have due process. There's another story about ICE agents, and one of the guys I spar with online brought this up about ICE agents grabbing an American citizen, I want to say in Northern Virginia, because they said that he was Hispanic. Well, when you actually delve into the story a little bit more, that's not the reason why the ICE agents rolled up on this guy. The ICE agents rolled up on this guy, and yes, he was an American citizen. He was not deported, but the reason they rolled up on him was twofold. Number one, some folks uh, gave information to the police similar to a swatting almost that this guy was illegal and this guy was a gang member, and that wasn't the case. But the second thing was other folks pointed out that this guy had been sheltering illegal immigrants and so, hey, birds of a feather kind of a thing. And they went in to see, are you sheltering immigrants and I mean, are you sheltering illegal immigrants and are you actually an American citizen? They found out that he was an American citizen. They didn't do anything to him like all the, horror story people say that they're going to do. But there's more to these stories than people want to admit. And yes, there are process things in the United States that are important. At the same time, one of the reasons we're in such, why we're in the shit we are is because a lot of people are putting process over substance. I don't know if you saw the thread online between Ezra Klein and Jon Stewart. Did you see this thing?
I did. I did.
So, for those who don't know, um, the reason I bring up process was everybody was bragging on Joe Biden's Build Back Better bullshit, the infrastructure bill that he came up with, and we're gonna like, for example, one of the things was we're gonna put rural internet, we're gonna put high-speed internet in rural areas. Well, that's only just about to go into effect because there were 14 fucking steps between the enactment of that bill and actually getting uh, the rural broadband access. Everything from map submission to secondary checks. I mean, it was 14, it took 4 years to get to get through the bureaucratic process. and they're still not completely done. They're finally on the cusp of about to do this. This is how we end up paying, I don't remember how many billions of dollars it is, and only getting what, the 15 charging electric vehicle charging stations in 4 years. Okay,
Yeah,
because you're
no,
so
it's crazy.
focused on, yeah, permits and processes and bureaucracy. I mean, that's why we can't get rid of homeless problems in the United States. That's why we can't get drug problems fixed. That's why we can't get fucking education fixed. Because we're all worried about our step in the process. And like I said before, bureaucracy will defend itself. And it's in like a full court press kind of defense right now. And you gotta at some point you gotta balance this out with something else.
Yeah, I and not and it's important to state here that not every avenue of the government is broke, or not working. It's not true at all. I watched. I was very impressed. If you want to watch a quick video, Adam Carolla has a vlog now, outside his podcast, where because he has a place in Malibu that didn't get burnt down, so he's been very interested in how that's being treated and how California's getting back together. So the bird colonel that's in charge of the Army Corps of Engineers, that's doing what they're doing. It's actually a fascinating video. I encourage you to go on YouTube like right after we quit recording and watch it. The dude's really cool. He's like, you and I've worked for this guy. I mean, the haircut, the good looks, the whole. But
There's a few of us.
they're. I mean, me back when I was an army officer, he looks like. But no, I mean the they're kicking ass. The Army Corps of Engineers is kicking ass, and it's fascinating how quickly they're getting through this because guess what? And he even says like 80% of our every 80% of the Army Corps of Engineers are civilians, but they're technicians and they're suited to their jobs. And here's what we're doing, and blah blah blah, grinding up the concrete and the rebar, recycling, doing all this. And they're kicking fucking ass. So there are parts of the government that work really well, and you know what those parts are? Kind of the military. And here's why because Plato's Republic talked about a guardian class that should be set outside the normal socialization of everything. Like here we have the community, but we have the guardian class, i.e., the army, who exists on a different set of rules, and we have to let them do that in order to preserve peace. Because if our civilians were calling the shots and all of that, then it wouldn't go well. So we should just let them kind of kill people and break things. And in this case, you have the Army Corps of Engineers who has a ridiculously successful 250 years of history in this country. All the dikes, all the waterways, all the things that work well in this country, the Army Corps of Engineers is actually in charge of. The fucking locks in Ballard, Washington were built like in the 1920s by the Army Corps of Engineers, and they haven't changed a bit. You go from the sea to a lake that's 30 feet higher, and those locks still work. And they were built by the Army
Nice.
Corps of Engineers, and they're still maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers. So it's not like everything in the world sucks that government runs, but what government needs to do, there isn't a single politician who can go, "Oh, Army Corps of Engineers, you suck. I want you to be DEI." That has never happened. They just do their fucking jobs. And that's when government is great. And
Yeah.
even as a libertarian, I'm telling you, it can be great. But it's
Yeah.
always about things like that. It's always about wartime. It's always about like disaster relief. The Army Corps of Engineers set up all these dams and all these waterways and all this other stuff. That is the most miracle thing that ever happened in American history. Guys, go out there and do a little bit of a deep dive on how much the Army Corps of Engineers actually does. And that's awesome. But what the government sucks at is fucking everything else. Is
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, and Doge has fucking I don't get these people that don't like Elon. I want to talk about this before we get off. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I mean, I can be as irascible as anybody, but here's a guy who literally is trying to save you trillions of dollars, who's trying to save the taxpayer everything, who is the smartest guy and the richest guy on planet Earth, and you motherfuckers are calling him a Nazi. How fucking stupid are you? How fucking stupid are you?
Well, I think one of the things, some of the things with Trump, I'm sorry, with Musk, is it's similar to Trump. And here's what I mean by that. They loved him up until the moment he was on the other side politically. I mean, the left loved Trump until he declared himself as a Republican and a candidate for president. They loved Elon until he started working for Trump. So I don't know that it's genuine hatred for Musk. Now, a lot of folks will say it is. Yeah, I hate Musk, but I think it's almost
Why would
a
you hate Musk?
transference.
What? What? Why would you hate Musk?
But it's a transference of impression about the evil they consider the other side to be, and they have to consider the other side evil because their own moral self-worth comes from believing that they're the only ones that could possibly be right. So that's why, if anybody opposes them, they have to be evil. They have to be, because otherwise, if they're not evil, then it causes them to question everything about themselves. So I don't even think it's about, well, now there are for some folks, it is about the stuff that Elon's cutting because he's taking their grift from them. Some of the folks that are directly involved in the corruption, Elon is actually going to be, removing their gravy train. And so they can gin up their own minions and spin all kinds of lies about how, he's going to cut off grandma's social security check and, let's go look at all these people that are getting the shaft. And I'm sorry, there is, some waste out there. Now, I don't remember who it was I heard say this. And I remember Konstantin Kisin. You know who he is?
Sure, of course.
He brought up the point that, look, when you go this hard, this fast, which you have to in order to get stuff done when it's on this scale, you're going to make some mistakes. And even Elon has said, hey, we're going to get some shit wrong.
Sure, of course,
and,
of course.
And what the folks who need the grift to continue are doing is they're pointing to that 10% that Elon is getting wrong, which some of it can tug at the heartstrings. I get it. But they're pointing to that and using that as a proxy for he shouldn't be cutting anything. Because it's a distraction. If we can get folks to buckle on this stuff over here and get them to focus on that, they'll subconsciously transfer that to all the rest of these cuts, which means we'll be able to keep our grift going. And that's what infuriates me about a lot of this is, look, there are some well-meaning people on the other side who are looking at people losing their jobs and some of the programs that are getting cut that may have done some good. They're very emotional people and they're latching on to that. But they're losing sight of the way that they're being taken advantage of when they're being used as cover to keep up some of this other self-licking ice cream cone of government self-funding that's going on. And Elon, look, people like to focus their hatred on a singular external tormentor. And so Elon is the face of stuff right now. Now, in a way, it helps Trump because the ire is focused on Elon, not on Trump. And I think Elon has already shown that much like you or I, much like me in particular, he kind of gets off on people hating him. He almost takes pleasure from it. I mean, you saw the way he was with the Disney folks at that one forum where people like, well, Disney may and some of these advertisers may not advertise with you. And he's like, look, I got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Hey, Bob Iger, you hear me? Go fuck yourself. He gets off on that. And in fairness, he's the richest man in the world. Okay. There's almost nothing you can do to him.
Based on our past profession, we like guys like that. I mean,
yeah,
we loved it. We loved it when our commanders were like that and had our backs. It's like, go fuck yourself. I've seen it. I've had commanders that literally said that to other commanders. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I got in a
And so
situation. I got in a situation when I was a young lieutenant with somebody from a different battalion, and my commander literally looked at that other commander and goes, "My lieutenant's right. Go fuck yourself and never come into my office again." And
those are the best commanders to work for.
you know who that commander was, by the way.
Was that Goldthorpe?
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
I
Yeah,
get it.
and he and some commander tried to lock me up and do some shit and la 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 because the way I talked to one of his soldiers, and I'm like, well, hey, my commander's office is right over there, sir. So you're welcome to go visit. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, and he's like, go fuck yourself. My lieutenant's solid.
I can
Go
see
fuck
Goldthorpe doing
yourself.
that.
What's that? Yeah, no, he literally, I'm like, get the fuck out of my office. Go fuck yourself. And it didn't help that the other commander was a tanker
No,
because we didn't like the tankers.
no, and Goldthorpe was an infantry guy.
Yeah, and we were infantry, so it's just like, yeah, go fuck yourself, dude. And I'm like, he goes, just no, you're good, you're good. Are we gonna watch the Packers this weekend? No, I mean, I keep seeing these things, and I keep trying to tell my Democratic friends that you're out of your league a little bit here.
Yeah.
You were kids that got locked into a candy store for 4 years and ran around and ate candy and shit yourselves. And then mom and dad picked you up now, and then now you're screaming like a little child. That's actually what's going on. That's actually what's fucking going on.
Let me take one small issue with your timing. I actually think that these bratty folks have been locked into this cycle since they retook Congress in 2006. And here's why I say that. Remember, in
No, no,
2000,
you're right. You're right. I
yeah,
I
I mean,
I
George
got
W.
that.
Bush was very unpopular. His last 2 years, he was a lame duck, and the Democrats had control of basically the political narrative at that point and the political culture. Then Barack Obama was elected, and he dragged things even further into the gutter. And then they could pretend that Trump wasn't really a thing because he didn't win the popular vote. He pulled an inside straight. The Democrats managed to retake the House in 2018. The news media was all over him, and then Joe Biden, pulled it out in 2020, and so they could kind of pretend Trump didn't exist. And so the grift had kind of been ongoing for like eight, 15, 18 years. And now they're those are attractive glasses, by the way.
What do you think of my new
Um,
glasses?
you got almost like a Clark Kent kind of vibe going on there, except you need the black part under the rim too. You need the 1950s glasses for that.
Yeah, I think they kind of look like basketball glasses a little bit.
Like Kurt Rambis.
Yeah, they're I'll take that. They're Oakleys. I spent a shit ton of money because, as you know, my little girl ate my last pair of Oakleys.
Of
But I
course.
wanted to go with a different style. What do you think, buddy? Here, hold on.
Um, you come off like a high school principal.
Uh, except I would never be a high school principal because I haven't given into the system. And actually, I would love to be a high school principal. Can you imagine going to my school? I'd be like, what was that one that Samuel Jackson played? Where, or no, he was a
Morgan Freeman and Lean on Me.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I'd be like fucking the white Morgan Freeman.
Like East Side High. The thing is, if you're allowed to actually
You
do
dumb
stuff,
bastards! Is that what he said that pissed everybody off? He was calling everybody these
he
bastards.
said a lot of things that pissed him off. That's why he threw those bastards out. One bad apple spoils the bunch. Get your fathers off welfare.
Yeah.
Uh, he told the football coach that his team was weak. I mean,
If I was a high school principal, you'd have to wear a collared shirt and long pants. And that was actually the dress code in my high school. It was. I don't know if it is anymore. No shorts, no
in
fucking
private
tank.
schools it is.
Yeah, you'd wear collared shirt and long pants. And when you refer to your teachers, you say, "Sir, ma'am." Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, if you could get away with it, that would be great. The question is what school district you're in and how quick the school board might remove you, because a lot of times nowadays our high schools are more delinquent daycare centers.
Okay, so I don't know, do you have a little bit of time?
Sure.
Okay, so one last thing I wanted to talk about that's important to me, that's actually I'm passionate about, is education. And the fact that, look, I have a lot of friends from high school that went into teaching, and they're mostly like 90% of them are leftist cunts. Um, and I mean, they don't listen to this podcast, and most of them defriended me over stuff.
I don't care if they listen to it or not. I call them leftist cunts in their face.
Yeah, no, I would too. I actually had a friend recently that had a birthday in my hometown at a bar in my hometown, and I really, he's very dear to me. He's a guy that helped get me through life, and he's a good dude, and he's a conservative dude. But I didn't go to his birthday because I knew that I would choke out at least five people at his birthday. I would. And I told him that. I texted him. I said, hey, I love you. Happy birthday. How about we have a steak on me when I come
Yeah.
up, you know,
Afterwards.
afterwards. I'm not coming out there because I don't want to go back to fucking prison. Because I will choke some motherfucker out.
And by the way,
And
folks, Coop is not kidding about that.
no, I'm actually not. I'm actually not at all. And he was like, God bless him. He didn't even respond. He's like, cool, sounds great. Give me a text when you want to come up and all that. And I will. I'll definitely take him to a birthday dinner. But the thing about the whole education thing is that it is everybody that's gone into it and come out of it is a leftist. The left has won the education warfare. That's why I'm wearing a Hillsdale College hoodie tonight, is because it is completely the opposite of that. All you go out there and please, all you listening to this, look at all the wonderful free courses that I have online, and you won't be, even though I'm wearing the Urban Herd hoodie as they called it on the webpage, which is weird. Um, I am so angry about what's happened to this, and I got way off topic here, didn't I? The education the education in this country. Um we are a country that is now dedicated to white, educated, liberal, white, white women. And that's actually the truth, because educational, and even in corporate America and in the media and all this stuff, we bow to that. And this thing about that's come out about, well, the red states are don't watch the news and are undereducated.
Yeah.
Well, let me spin that a different direction for you motherfuckers out there. The red states are occupied by people that actually make things happen, that actually make things, that farm, that do things in life, that understand what America's about. They may not be educated, but when you talk about the blue states are full of educated white females, you're not making your point, because those institutions are completely to the left. Everybody that teaches those institutions. Look, you and I taught at UC Davis, just to throw
Hmm.
that out. I don't think we've ever even said that, which was incredibly liberal.
Oh yeah.
But the it wasn't as bad back then. I think I got into like two confrontations ever there, and they were mild. I mean, it was mild. The one at Sacramento wasn't mild. Uh,
No. Taking the dude by the throat was not mild.
no, that taking a dude by his throat and lifting him up. But I thought a life lesson would be important to that young man. Um, But I remember a professor, like, when we were training for Bataan, and on that road, it's like, get out of the way. And I'm like, fuck off. And he stopped and he's like, what'd you say to me? And I said, I told you to fuck off. Don't ever say anything to my cadets again. Move. Go. and he did. Um, and I mean, maybe I remember I got into it with the athletic director there, by the way. And our buddy Steve was like, "Hey, man," because he played football there. He's like, "Oh, the athletic director talked to me about you." I'm like, "Go tell him to fuck himself." And if he wants to get in a fist fight, there's a gym right behind us. Um, but these liberal white women are the downfall of our society in this country. They really are, because it's like, what, what are you looking for in life? What are you mad about? You have a country and you have a society built by guys that look like me. You really do. Western culture, fucking architecture, roads, fucking cell phones, fucking computers, fucking everything that you enjoy in life was built by somebody that kind of looks like this. And I don't get. Uh, do you not understand? I mean, I'd be like, oh, thank you, thank you, sir, and and I get such a negative response every time I post on social media like this. How about you just say fucking thank you? How about you just say thank you? That'd be
Like
nice. For
they think that
defending
they're
you. None of you were ever drafted. Do you know like 100,000 Americans are dead because of the draft, bro?
yeah, well it's
Yeah,
part of it's an
but
insecurity
don't tell
thing.
me what to do with your body, but we'll send you overseas and get you killed. All right. Fuck off. It's time for you to fuck off and just
Yeah,
go
well
make me a goddamn sandwich.
it's an insecurity thing on the part of people who have not done something. Um, but I do want to bring up three real quick points based on what you just said.
Please do.
Um,
Please do. Because I'm obviously emotional about this.
all right, so first of all, with regards to the leftist indoctrination, when you mentioned education, I want to make it clear it's not just education. It's education, entertainment, and the media.
Yep.
The three main levers that control the culture. I have often wondered if we were at parity in those three areas, where it was roughly a 50-50 split, would the Democrats ever win another election? Because they've controlled education, entertainment, and the media for the last 60 to 70 years, and it's we're still split right down the middle in politics. The constant barrage of that kind of indoctrination, and they still can't overcome the general right-leaning sentiment of the country is one thing. So uh, that the right has started to try to make inroads in that kind of stuff, but we didn't lose it overnight. We're not going to gain it back overnight. Um, the
Well,
the second,
please continue, but the right has been pussies about this. We thought that if we were nice and we were
yeah,
tolerant, that everything would be okay, and it's not the case. We should have been going to war back 30 years ago.
we should have we should have gone to war. The problem with the right on this stuff is we won some elections when Reagan. All right, it started in '68 when Nixon won. And then Carter kind of interrupted it, but it continued when Reagan won. We kind of like, okay, we don't need the culture because the country's with us. And we mistook uh, political victories for cultural victories. And that parasite still burrowed into the skin and just kind of laid dormant. And that's how we got, to the Clintons and the Obamas and the Bidens. It's how we got to Dylan Mulvaney. It's how we got to Adam Schiff. So, like Breitbart said, like Andrew Breitbart said, politics is downstream of culture. You can't ignore the culture and then want to know why your politics gets all fucked up.
Right. Yep.
Um,
100%.
so
100%.
um, on the I mentioned the education, the education, entertainment, and the culture. I mean, the media, and then in the education sector, the absolute indoctrination of or the attempt at the indoctrination of the youth is, believe it or not, I don't find it as disturbing as I used to, and let me tell you why. Back in the '90s and early 2000s and stuff, the left was kind of the counterculture. All right. And when they finally gained positions of power, they thought, all right, we've got it now. We can indoctrinate the youth all we want and turn out these activists. However, um, what they failed to take into account with human nature is that there's a natural tendency to revolt and rebel against whoever's in the establishment, whoever's in power. And right now, the left is in power culturally. But if you look at it, Generation Z, especially the young men from Generation Z, are more conservative than any generation since the 80s. Okay? And the youth is supposed to be liberal. If this youth is conservative and voting for Trump, that does not bode well for the future of the left as this generation continues to mature. Um, and the last thing I wanted to bring up, you keep mentioning about the white women and the way that they've tried to swing the culture on some of this. Um, Back when Bill Burr was funny, he's not funny today,
Yeah, that
but
that was a minute ago.
but back when he was funny, one of the things he brought up was like I don't just how you country club, liberal privileged women manage to swing your Gucci booted feet over the fence of oppression and claim how all this is about you. The nerve. He's like, "Where's the camera? The nerve of you doing that." Um, it's kind of astonishing because people want to be thought of as a victim overcoming something. And then they get very cocky and arrogant about stuff when they think that they are in the right. I did have one more thing I wanted to mention in a second, but
Sure.
the uh, the epitome to me of that person you're talking about was that lady that was bragging about how Kamala was going to win Iowa and she was buying the champagne and had confronted some dumb
Oh
redneck in the
God.
store.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah, that video didn't age well, but she was the epitome of it. The last thing I want to bring up, this stuff talking about highly educated, highly informed voters is a misnomer. They're they're not highly informed. They're highly emotional about issues, but they are not as informed as they like to think they are. And when you confront them with actual facts, now most folks won't do that because most folks are not engaged. These folks think they're engaged because they're emotional about stuff and because they listen to NPR. But when you actually start nailing them down on the facts, they fold. I very nearly lost a friend of mine from CGSC because his wife decided to get involved on one of our Facebook threads, and I treated her the same way I treat everybody else, which means if you're going to act like a moron, I'm going to treat you like a moron. And she thought she had all this stuff, and I just started knocking down her points one at a time, showing her she was not quite as informed and educated as she thought she was because it was very surface level. And that's the way most of these so-called highly informed voters are. I mean, highly informed leftists are, is they're surface level. They see a headline, they listen to something on NPR, they think that that's got to be what it is. And they don't understand when they run into somebody who actually knows what they're talking about beyond the surface and can do some extrapolation and analysis, their their house of cards crumbles like it was hit with a blowtorch. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to bring up. I think the whole, the education stuff is bullshit when you look at, some of the scores in like Illinois and Hawaii and Chicago, in Baltimore, the blue states don't have it, too much better. They're pouring money into a pit and filling it with gasoline and then burning it up because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyway,
No, you're 100%. And yeah, I looked at a post. I think in one of the next two podcasts, uh, I want to give a. We used to do this a couple of years ago. We got away from it, but we'd like to educate people that listen to the podcast. I think critical thinking is really important.
hmm
And having gone to a Jesuit university, it was beaten into me. Um, I think things like false equivalency and all that. I saw a meme from a dude today. I don't know why I'm friends with him. I can't remember, but it was like, so Trump, the economy is out of control, but you wanted to focus on trans athletes. Okay, there's no logical connection between those two things at all. And and by the way, I I I meant to tell you, Ben Shapiro can suck my dick. I think tariffs are fine. I think they're good. I think what's happening is fine.
You
I
and I are going to disagree on this.
yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm a tariff guy. I'm a tariff guy. I am.
I am. I think tariffs can have a useful purpose in very focused settings, protecting certain industries that are vital to national security, the steel industry, the semiconducting microchips. That's that's reasonable. Trying to get countries to lower their trade barriers. Absolutely, that's 100% on target. Um, the issue comes down to we live in such an economically intertwined world. We tried the whole tariff thing almost 100 years ago with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. It didn't go amazing for us because our imports,
It's a different world, man.
it
I
is a
think
different world, and we are so much more economically intertwined than we were even in 1930.
yes, yes. I think taking a fucking fist and putting up the ass of countries that have taken advantage of us all these years, I think it's a healthy thing. I do. I do.
Well,
I
it's
I
healthy
get
if
that that's
they're
going to have some short-term fucking effects, but long-term, I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful.
um, I,
I'm a
I'm
big fan. I'm a big fan.
I would like you to be right. I do
I
not
will be.
believe you
I will
are.
be.
Um, I'd love to be proven wrong on this, but
On episode 125, you'll be like, Coop, oh my God, you were so right about the tariffs. Good
yeah,
job.
I doubt that's going to happen. Um,
No,
the
it will.
the
Well, I
because
mean, you won't admit you were wrong because you never do. So,
if I make a mistake, I admit it, but I don't think we'll see. I mean, like I said,
no,
I think that
I'm a big fan.
now because what that's going to do is that's going to raise prices in the United States.
Okay. So
They're
what?
not going to.
So what?
Well, that's real easy to say when you don't have to worry about, are you going to be able to make this dollar stretch for your family?
No, no, no. But long term, it's going to have a very fucking favorable effect. I do believe.
I I'm not sure I agree with that because first of all, countries
Well,
that
you suck Ben Shapiro's dick. We know that. So,
well, maybe I just cup a little bit, um, but I do think that the history of tariffs have not gone amazing. I think the tariffs were one of the things that precipitated the Second World War, because of the way that they caused economic uh, hardship and created an incentive for expansion and independence. Um, I just,
completely disagree with you on this, bruh.
I
We should
mean,
have a podcast on this.
we maybe should. I mean, it's not like I have a master's degree in business or anything. Uh, I
Yeah,
really think
I have, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know anything ever. So,
I'm just saying that I think that we'll see how the stock market recovers. We'll see how these countries
oh,
respond.
it dipped by 4% today. Oh, oh my God. It's at 40 fucking 2. Okay.
Well, hey,
4% is nothing. It's nothing. And I have stocks and
and it
I have Bitcoin and I have all that and I'm not worried. I'm not even worried a
the
little bit.
key is going to be to see how long and how far it drops. It may not, but if it is sustained. Now, I agree with you that there's a lot of people panicking based on a single day's worth of
It's fucking
stock.
stupid, man.
Um, what we need to keep an eye on is how sustained it is. Now, I will say one other
Yeah,
thing, and
sure. Good enough, good enough.
I put this post on Facebook. You may not have seen it yet, um, but I do find it amusing is probably not the right word. Maybe frustrating is the right word on the tribalism surrounding tariffs. And here's what I mean by that. Now, maybe you weren't like this, okay? So I'll caveat, give you credit on that because I don't know.
So you're not
But
judging me. You're not judging me, is what you're saying.
with so many people, it was only 10 years ago, maybe, that the Republicans were tariffs are bad, the Democrats were tariffs are good. Now that Trump has done them, the Republicans are tariffs are good, Democrats are tariffs are bad.
No, that's absolutely true. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
and
true.
that's very frustrating. I'm not going to change my economic philosophy because Trump happens to be the one doing it. I think the danger I see in the tariffs and where we may disagree, well, where we may diverge on this, I think tariffs can be good when used like a scalpel. I am concerned Trump is using them like a crowbar. I
Oh,
don't know that he has the nuance
totally understood.
to really
Totally
do it.
understood. Totally
That's
understood.
that's my thing is, does Trump actually have the nuance to not go in with a baseball bat and shatter every Ming vase in sight?
I actually don't know the question of that, but what I do completely agree with is telling the world how different the tariffs are and illuminating the difference between what comes in and what comes out. And illuminating Americans to that. And is it fair that America fucking funds the entire world? No, it's not. And that's where Trump comes from. And he's right. You know, listen, folks. I don't agree with Trump like lockstep. I don't. I think he needs to pull his drawers up about Canada and the whole Greenland thing, and it's just a little bit too macho for me. But the tariff thing, like going, listen, we're paying the fucking world way too much. And Ben Shapiro is like, oh, Madagascar and look. Well, fuck you, Ben. Fuck you, Ben. Taking a world view of like America's been funding the world for far too long. That's what he's trying to say. That you gotta take a step back and go strategic. Okay, so tactical is the tariffs. Strategic is going, hey world, we're done funding your fucking ass. We're done. We're done funding you. So I'd be great with open trade. I'd be great with that. And I think that's what he's trying to push for. And I'm fine with the fucking Dow Jones taking a 4% loss today or whatever. I mean, I got stocks, I got crypto. I care about, what I hope to live on in the next however long I got on God's green earth. But I do think his stance on tariff is okay. I do. I do.
Yeah, like I said, we diverge. I don't know that Trump has the nuance to do it right. Now, I understand
No,
exactly what you're
I
saying.
do.
Hang on a second. I understand exactly what you're saying about some of the ways that America's been taken advantage of. I get it. And if we can use the tariffs to get some of that reduced, then that's absolutely what they should be used for.
Right. Right.
The question is, are they too broad to be used like that? If
No,
Because that's
yeah,
where the damage
you're
can come
right.
from.
No, I sympathize with that view, Russ. I do. I have some little jitter about it's like, all right, you can't. So what people don't realize about Trump is he comes out and he punches hard. Like if he was in an MMA fight, he'd be like, a roundhouse kick and a punch to the head first, but then he backs off a little bit because he's like, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So fight me. I don't think that a lot of these policies will stand once. I mean, you've got several countries that have caved. You've got several countries that are like
I can think of
Canada.
two.
What's
I
that?
can think of Mexico and Israel. Canada
Mexico,
hasn't caved
Israel,
yet.
Canada.
When did Canada cave? Because I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, no. That came out today that they're going to reduce their tariffs. A lot of the East Asian countries, and I get it. Ben Shapiro's like, blah, 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 yeah, wait, blah, 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 man, there's only like 5 people in that country. Blah, 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 It's like, fuck off, Ben. Fuck off. I mean, sometimes you think you're smarter than you are, Ben Shapiro.
Well,
And do you not think that President Trump has the smartest economic people on planet Earth around him giving him advice? How did he become a billionaire,
let,
motherfuckers? How
let
did
me
he
just
become a billionaire?
let me just tell you the where I take some maybe note of hope is that one thing Trump does not like is to look bad. And if the tariffs start to make true economic challenges for the United States, he will do one of two. He will lower the tariffs if that's the case, because he hates looking bad. You know that. He does not want to look bad.
Sure,
So
sure.
he will,
He's a
if that
celebrity.
start,
Sure,
if that does start to happen, he will
sure.
lower the tariffs and in one of two ways. He will either lower them quietly, where he just lets something expire or does something, here and there. He'll do it in bits and pieces. First of all, he won't get rid of all of them. I know that. He's not going to get rid of all of them in one stroke. That's not in his personality. He'll get rid of them in bits and pieces in both scenarios. He'll either do it quietly or, whether it's true or not, he will claim victory and say, I talked to the guys from France and they're wonderful now and they're going to lower this thing, even if it's something minor, and then he'll remove the tariffs that way. So I think that may be what'll happen. It's a matter of how loud and boisterous he is about it.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I know we don't agree on the tariff situation. I think it's for the future of America. I think it's one of the best thing that's ever happened. And there's individual cases that suck, and I get that. And it's like anything else, bruh. I mean, you know, there's going to be mistakes made, like with the signal thing and deporting the guy that supposedly was just a dad, but turns out they deported an MS-13 gang member.
And
So
that wasn't a
good.
mistake.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Um, I don't think this is a mistake. I don't. I think this is his okay, in the army we never did warning shots. That's kind of like a movie Navy thing. Send a shot across their bow. In the army we never did that. We never did that.
Maybe in center mass.
Yeah, we just fucking shot. But I think this is a warning shot to the world, and I don't think I don't think this is going to turn out badly. I don't, and I'm okay. I'm okay with a temporary dip in the Dow Jones. I'm okay with, even if it leads to a little inflation, if it works out the way he says, which I do, and I'm a smart guy, and I do realize that you have a master's in business, motherfucker. And I don't, but I'm a smart guy, and I pay attention to stuff. I think this is the best route for America in the future. I do. May not be the it may not be nice today, may not be nice for the next month or two, but I think in the future, going, fuck you, we're tired of this. We're paying for the world. And that's where Ben Shapiro and I completely disagree. He's like, well, it's not, it's blah, 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 it's a tax on blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Fuck you, Ben. Yeah,
Well,
it is a thing that you need to secure for the future of this country. And I think Trump is not looking at today. He's looking at tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years, and all that stuff. That's what I appreciate about this. It's like,
I think
fuck this. Why would you support this ridiculous GDP fucking I don't know, man. I just
But I think part of the challenge with the tariffs and the inflation stuff that you brought up, where if the tariffs are the only thing that are done, then there are other systemic issues that will contribute to the price increases. That I mean, one of the reasons why companies go overseas is because we have way overinflated wages when it comes to
yeah,
from
yeah,
union contracts to some of the minimum wage stuff. That's created part of the inflationary bubble that's out there.
yes,
And the 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 tariffs may first of all, those companies aren't just going to eat that cost. They're going to pass that cost on to us. And so people are going to it's going to you run the risk of getting locked into an inflationary cycle of they're raising the prices here, so now we have to raise wages in order to keep up with that. Now the prices are going to continue to get raised. That's that's where you have a potential inflationary cycle that could lock in if you're not careful. And there are other systemic issues with regards to regulations that increase our costs. If we can't take care of some of these other systemic issues and make it balance out, make it even out, then we are
sure.
not going to be able to, it's not going to have the impact that he wants to have via tariffs alone. And one thing that Shapiro does bring up that's a good point and I don't know if the satisfaction of sticking it to the world has really made gotten this next part across to a lot of people on the right is that the one thing that can cause Trump's presidency to unravel is an economic downturn. He
Sure.
can get a pass for a whole bunch of other stuff.
Sure.
But, Biden got blamed for economic shit. Hillary got blamed for Obama's economic shit. Bush got blamed for the economic shit. Whoever the president is, right or wrong, will get blamed for an economic downturn, and then you turn into a lame duck. And what my two fears on an economic downturn are, number one, Trump's not going to be able to get anything accomplished because, he becomes so unpopular based on economics. And the second, even bigger fear is it opens up the door to a wild and crazy Democrat in 2028, where it would obviously get even worse. Now, we're fortunate that the Democrat bench right now absolutely sucks. I mean, they're propping up AOC. Um, I can't see unless it gets really bad. I can't see the country voting for Gavin Newsom. I just can't see it. Um, but the Democrats do have a couple of folks that could sneak by. Um, put like a Josh Shapiro, uh, Raphael Warnock ticket together, that could sneak by. Um, if he had not poisoned himself in 2024 with Kamala Harris and the economy had taken a downturn, Waltz could have possibly written something in, only because the press would have covered for him. And so
Oh no,
those
I
are
don't.
those are the
No,
things I
nobody
really worry
likes that
about.
guy. Nobody likes that guy. Not
But
even
I'm just saying,
Democrats like that guy.
imagine if Kamala hadn't been stupid enough to pick him, and the economy had taken such a downturn, would enough people have given him a pass to sneak him by if things had gotten bad enough? And so Trump not being able to do anything and the Democrats sneaking back into power, those are some of my worries with the economic downturn. I hope I'm not predicting like a Great Depression kind of thing. I don't think that's realistic. But could something get bad enough to make it go by? Because you got to remember that as shitty as a lot of the Republican stuff is, sometimes the Democrats are like 1,000 times worse, and we
Oh
saw
God.
some of that. We saw some of that these last 4 years under Joe Biden because people are like, I don't want to put up with Trump being a blowhard and Trump saying all kinds of wacky shit and look at COVID and all this other stuff. It says we need to try something else. They tried Biden. They're like, oops, maybe Trump's not the worst thing in the world, but you still have to live through 4 years of Biden before you can go back to Trump. So I just I'd like my Republican friends to take their foot off the emotional gas real quick, do a little bit more analysis and actually try and focus more as opposed to bull in a china shop when it comes to stuff like that. That's where my note of caution is.
I think we'll end on that. I think that was
It,
a
Coop has pursed his lips. I was let in with that.
yeah, yeah. I purse my lips sometimes. I think we'll end on that. That was very well stated. So, um, you good? You good?
I think so. I got two dogs that are looking at me right now as the rain is going outside.
I'm gonna put on. I'm
I
gonna
thought
put on
about
my. I'm gonna put on my new glasses for my glasses fans.
I thought about bringing one of them up here to show her on camera, but she's so skittish right now that I'm afraid she started wiggling all over the place and press all kind of buttons on the keyboard, and God only knows what that would do to our podcast.
Yeah, God only knows. My 15-year-old is sleeping, and Lucy is right here beside me as usual. She's like, Dad, can we do something, please? Because this sucks.
Well, look, when I go to bed, if there's a hint of a thunderstorm outside, which obviously there is right now, I have to close all the doors in the house,
Really?
especially to the laundry room, because I have one of the two dogs that will get into the laundry room and behind the washer and dryer, and she has fucked up those hoses before. A cheap bastard don't like replacing those things every time we have a thunderstorm.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. I'm glad I have dogs that aren't pussies because your dogs are pussies. So,
They're I'm not gonna lie, they are one of them in particular is very anxious and I guess, is having a nightmare right now and yipping in her sleep.
I have a 15-year-old coonhound who just doesn't give a shit. And then I got a 14-month-old Pyrenees and leopard Catahoula leopard and Saint Bernard mix that she's like the most fearless thing I've ever seen in my life. She's like, "Fuck yeah!" I mean,
Speaking of leopards, go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking what would be really cool. I've always wanted to go on a civilian. Unlike you, I'm a 5 jump chump. I'm not actual airborne.
I'm only an 8 jump chump, so.
All right. I'm a 5 jump chump. I went through the school, but I was thinking, do they have a place where I could like my dog could parachute too? Because she would
Oh,
be
I'm sure it
totally into
exists.
that. That'd be
I'm sure it exists.
she'd be totally into that. She'd be like, "Let's go, Dad!" Woo!
Well, I had to say this real quick. Taking my youngest to school the other day, you mentioned leopards. That made me think of bobcats. My wife and youngest saw a bobcat just like a mile and a half from our house, uh, as they were going to school the other day. So, I already lost when we were in Kansas. I lost one dog to the coyotes. I don't need to lose any more to other
Right,
wildlife.
right, right. I can lend you Lucy. I think she'd kill a bobcat in like 5 seconds. She's that big and she's
Well,
a
my next dog will be a black lab whenever one of these expire, but I'm waiting for hopefully several more years before that's going to happen.
Lucy girl. She's like, I'm really sweet, but I'll fuck you up in a heartbeat. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
well, these two dogs right now are sleeping and hiding in our under the stairs closet tornado shelter.
Yeah, that's not Lucy. That's not Lucy. She embraces the chaos like her old man, unfortunately.
I've seen
So
some videos. It looks like you saw me comment on some of those videos. Like Lucy's going to need a bath.
she does. She does need a bath. And then she has that thick black hair. It looks like I had a looks like I had a crack convention over at my house every day. Ooh, that was racist.
For those who can't see, I'm just shaking my head.
All right, buddy, we'll let you go and we'll finish this up and I'll get this potted tonight. Love you,
And
man, and it was great talking to you as always. And remember
I'm
to keep your focus and
stay wokeless. Stay on for a second.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Coop, the handsome and debonair one of the Two Grumpy Bastards podcast. Not to mention, I'm the only one that's an actual bastard. Google that shit. Don't, actually. Hey, I'm here to do a shameless plug for our merchandise. You can find us at twogrumpybastardsmerchandise.com. We got a whole bunch of new merchandise in. I think you'll like some of the new choices. There's some pro-Second Amendment. There's some anti-Washington State Governor stuff on there. I think you'll really appreciate it. New stuff coming all the time. I have 2 great designs in the works, so please, to support this podcast, that's one of the easiest ways to do it. We're also on Etsy. Yeah, I know, Etsy. You can find our products on eBay as well. Storm King Mercantile is the name of the store there that fronts us. And there's many, many other ways to support this podcast, of course. We have a Patreon page, same thing, Two Grumpy Bastards. We certainly would appreciate you following us on Instagram. Most of you probably know we have a Facebook page, Two Grumpy Bastards Podcast. We have a lot of fun over there, a lot of frivolity, a lot of memes, and a lot of hard-hitting news. Believe it or not, a lot of great people in that group. Also, all of the social media outlets, including now on TikTok. You can find us there. And one of the things that I really wanted to tell you is if you have any feedback for Russ, especially because he kind of sucks, feel free to email us at twogrumpybastards@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us, or you can always leave us a comment or an IM on, or DM, I should say. See, I'm so savvy. I'm so savvy. On our Facebook page. So we really appreciate you listening or watching us over there on YouTube as well. And we hope you do both, because Russ is something to look at. I said something. I didn't say something really great to look at. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is your intrepid, amazing, and grateful host of the Two Grumpy Bastards podcast, Coop. Remember, keep your focus and stay wokeless.